Right, this video is going to be the solution video. Alright, we begin here at the beginning of the poem. As I have gone alone in there, and with my treasures bold, I can keep my secret where, and hint of riches new and old. Riches new and old. Thus referring to is Yellowstone National Park. Riches new, the wildlife there. Riches old, it's ancient land. For all time there, it's you got the geysers, the springs, you've got the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone National Park there as well. Alright, move on to begin it where warm waters halt. Alright, I'm going to draw a lake. This is the first foot or so of the lake, and this is the bottom. Now, in the summertime, this top layer, this first couple of feet, is the warmest. This is the coldest down here. But in the wintertime, this layer up here freezes. So the warm waters halt right here. So you have frozen water equals halted warm water, or waters, just say waters, which equals ice. The only way to truly halt warm waters is turned into ice. Now, what the poem is referring to, begin it where warm waters halt, is Ice Lake. Right there. That's in Yellowstone National Park. It's located about 3 to 4 miles east of Norris Geyser Basin. About 7-8 miles west of the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. Right there. Here's a close-up view of it. You can see right below it is the Norris Canyon Road right there. Now here is a little excerpt. During winter, the 224-acre lake freezes over, but not solid. Only the first 1 to 2 feet of the 53-foot deep lake freezes. On top of that, 4 to 6 feet of snow can accumulate, making the lake appear as a large white field. It was named Ice Lake circa 1900 because nearby Norris Hotel cut its ice supply from this small lake. Now we move on to this. It says, and take it in the canyon down, not far but too far to walk. That is referring to is Yellowstone Grand Canyon, the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. Take it in the canyon down. When you visit this location, there's several observation locations at the rim of the canyon. And the poem is referring to saying, take it in the canyon down, which you would go into the observation locations and you would gaze down upon it. You would take it in. You would soak it in. The view. You take it in the canyon down. Soak it in the canyon down. Appreciate it. Now, it says, and take it in the canyon down, not far, but too far to walk from the warm waters, which is Ice Lake. When you look, it's about 7-8 miles, about 7 air miles, and about 8 to 9 road miles. Right there, depending on where exactly you go, that part of the canyon. So it's not far, but too far to walk. Now we go to put in below the home of Brown. That is referring to is Joe Brown Putin, which is located in Gardner, Montana. It's right next to the Yankee Jim picnic area. There, you have to punch in Yankee Jim picnic area in Google Earth to find the Joe Brown Putin, which is right here. See, it's saying that this is the Yankee Jim picnic area, which actually it's here. You can see the facilities right there. There's some picnic tables. And just a note, I've been to all these locations and have video of all these locations. So this is the actual put-in right there. You can see like a truck there, pickup truck with a boat trailer. So this is Joe Brown put-in. All right, here's a little information on the put-in. The coordinates right there. Have the elevation right here, 5,041.5 feet. Now it says put in below the home of Brown. The question would be, okay, what is the home of Brown? The home of Brown is this. It's in the Yellowstone ecosystem. Grizzly bears tend to dig or locate dens on the mid to upper 1/3 of 30 to 60 degree slopes with northern exposures between 6,562 feet and 10,006 feet. So the home of Brown is the den of a grizzly bear, which the lowest elevation is 6,562 feet. So the Joe Brown put-in is at 5,041.5 feet. It's below the elevation of where the brown bears or the grizzly bears would build their dens. So the home of Brown is the dens. So Joe Brown put-in is below that, below the home of Brown. Put in below the home of Brown. Now we move on to this part. From there, it's no place for the meek. What that is referring to is Norris Geyser Basin. Like I said, that's about 3 to 4 miles from Ice Lake. It's 3 to 4 miles west of Ice Lake, right there. Norris Geyser Basin. Now, here's a little excerpt on Norris Geyser Basin. Right here. Joe Meek, another well-known fur trapper, was forced into Yellowstone in 1829. He did not go there by choice, because he was forced to flee from an attack of Piegans near the mouth of Tom Miner Creek on the Yellowstone River. As a result, Meek followed the river upstream and over the Mammoth Springs near the current north entrance of the park. Eventually, he ended up in Norris Geyser Basin and later provided a description of it. That's Joe Meek, Norris Geyser Basin. There's no place for the meek. Now we move on to the end is ever drawing nigh. Alright. What that is referring to is lower Yellowstone Lake. Now this is the location. This is the Omega, that formation that a lot of searchers were searching for. If you look right here, you can see an Omega horseshoe shape. You see the bottom's right there. If you close in this top left side, you'll see the Omega. The end is ever drawing nigh. There's the Omega that a lot of searchers have been searching for. This is in Yellowstone National Park. This is one of the largest Omega formations in the Rocky Mountains that you'll find. And it's in Yellowstone National Park. Now, once you've found this, I would think any person would want to kind of zoom in maybe on the center maybe on a mountain peak that's in the center there. So we're going to move on to this image. You see it's called the promontory. It's a peninsula. It's a 10 square mile landmass. You have, like I said, the peak right here, and you have campsites kind of all around this peninsula. This one to the west is 5L5, 5L6, 5L7, 5L8, 5L9. All right. Naturally, I would want to zoom in somewhere around the peak. I would think, want to look around the peak of the Omega, the center. So we're going to zoom in a little further, right there. And to the left there, you see this white patch. That's a snow patch. Now this is the only snow patch left on the whole peninsula. This is at the end of the season. This was imaged June 29, 2014. This is the only snow patch to be found on the peninsula. This is where you would find the last handful of snow. This is where the snow dies on the peninsula. So this makes this a significant location. This is why he hid the treasure here. This is why he wanted his bones here. This is why he would choose to die here, because you have two ends meeting. You have this Omega. This is the Omega. The end is ever drawing nigh. Now, why it's the blaze, it's this. You have the blaze there. That's, you can see the northerly direction there, southerly direction there. It's this. It's the blaze. It's a horse blaze. It resembles a horse blaze. And it's in this formation at the end of winter every year. It's likely been in this formation. It would end up in, this would be the last spot you would find snow on the peninsula. For hundreds, probably thousands of years, and it'll be this way hundreds to thousands of years in the future. So this is the blaze, and that's why it's called the blaze, because it ends up in the formation of a horse blaze. Now, this is the place where two ends meet. The snow dies here, and it's in the formation. So you have these symbols that he has at the back of his books, the colophon, the twin omegas. This is symbolic of this location. Here you have the one on the left will be representing the lower Yellowstone Lake, the Omega formation there, at the lower Yellowstone Lake. And the one on the right is representative of the snow patch. It's where the snow dies on the peninsula. 10 square miles. That was the last location you're going to find snow on the peninsula. Is right there. So this explains his omegas, the double omegas that he puts in the back of his book. The one on the left is lower Yellowstone Lake, the end is ever drawing nigh. The one on the right is representative and symbolic of the snow patch. Now we're going to move here to the poem. The end is ever drawing nigh. Now, there'll be no paddle up your creek. There'll be no paddle up your creek. So there's going to be no paddling up a creek. On the peninsula, there's no creeks to get to. Only the Yellowstone Lake. It's 12 miles. I've been to this location. It's 12 miles. You have to take it by boat. The only practical way, this is a very regulated, very strictly regulated location. It's very strictly regulated lake and strictly regulated campsites that are on this area in Yellowstone. So that's how you would get out to the location. is by water high, the lake, which is right here. It says, there'll be no paddle up the creek, just heavy loads and water high. Now, the heavy loads be the treasure chest itself. There are some boulders and things, but it's usually right here at the tip. There's not a whole lot that I remember seeing, but there's no creeks involved in the solution of the poem, just water high, which is Yellowstone Lake. Now, if you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down your quest to cease. Alright, so back to the blaze here. It says look quickly down. Well, you'd down southerly direction. That would make sense. So you wanted to look in this area here. If you look closely, see what appears to be a human figure here and a dark colored box object right here. So we're gonna, back to the poem, it says, been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down your quest to cease. Tarry scant with marvel gaze, just take the chest and go in peace. Okay, so we should be able to see the chest and go in peace. So we're going to zoom in now. On that one, the other one. Here's the one. Now this is the one from before March. Now, Google Earth, from what I gather from an acquaintance, he says that they refreshed the images in Yellowstone, which caused some alterations in the images. It caused the images to be altered here. This is the image before March. They did this sometime in March or April. This is the original image. You can see what I call the rockman right there. See the rockman, and there's the image of the chest. Now, this is the image you'll currently see now. As you can tell, it's been altered, degraded, downscaled. It's not as good a resolution as the one here. Now we're going to look more closely at the rockman. This is a rock formation. Reason that's significant is because of this. This is why he put the image of the shadowman on his book, Too Far to Walk. This explains that mystery. You can see here, side-by-side comparison. The shadowman has a hat on, rockman has a hat on. You can see in the shadowman's left hand, walking stick, the rockman has a walking stick in his left hand. See the right arm tucked in on the rockman. Now the rockman had been dismantled. The rock formation was not there. There was just open ground, scattered rocks, and grass. Alright, now we're going to just move on to the images of the chest. Right there. Now, as you can see, this is little patches of snow that's left right here. Little patches of snow. Right there. And then you can see right here, this is a reflection of the light. You can see the color. That's a bronze color. That's consistent and compatible with the treasure chest. Just to double check that, let's look at let's go here. The lighting is coming from the southeast direction, which is about there. You can see by the directional right there. It's coming from that direction. So that's that would be consistent with the reflection. So you can move to this one, it's a little closer. See the reflection right there? Now I want to move on to different angle, which pretty interesting here. The images there at that location are layered. There's at least 2 images, and it was taken from 2 different perspectives, which led to it being imaged in a 3D rendering. You can see right there the corner of the chest. See there, and you can see the reflection right there. You see the color. That's bronze. Here's a picture of the chest sitting in a similar angle there. Now I don't know whether that's the front or what side of the chest that is, because it's basically a square box. You know, it could be either whatever side. We're going to do a little comparison though. These 2 images. Alright, we're just going to do a switch comparison there. You can see there is a little distortion in the image right there. You can see it corners right there. If you look closely at that. Just do a switch back and forth right there. It's interesting, the shadow right here, this side, is real similar to this. You have, looks to be a shadow right here. Of course you have the reflection, that they have the lighting right there, reflection off the chest right there. So just do a switch there. So now we're just going to move on to this part of the poem. Says, so why is it that I must go and leave my trove for all to seek? The answer I already know. I've done it tired and now I'm weak. So hear me all and listen good. Your effort will be worth the cold. If you are brave and in the wood, I give you title to the gold. So he says, listen good, your effort will be worth the cold. So that's a important part of the poem. And then it says, if you are brave and in the wood. Okay, so promontory is a heavily wooded area. To get to the location, you're gonna go through some heavily wooded areas, a lot of dead downfall. I've been to the location there. It's a lot of deadfall, dead standing trees. There was a fire there, August 2013, called the Alder Fire, named after the Alder Lake right there. The fire started nearby the lake and spread. That's why you see all this brown. It was a pretty green, lush peninsula, but the fire then pretty much destroyed the forest and woods there. So that would be the wood. Now the cold. It says about the cold there. Your effort will be worth the cold. Yellowstone Lake is one of the largest cold water lakes in the Rocky Mountains. Very large cold water lake. Like I said, this from the marina where you can, the boats are, is 12 miles to the tip of the peninsula. So this is a very large, it's cold water lake. The lake stays, the temperature of the lake stays cold year round. I think the warmest is in the 60s in the summer. So that explains those parts of the poem. And pretty much that is the poem. Now, Forrest Fenn retrieved the treasure chest. Now, you can check out my video, Forrest Fenn retrieved the treasure chest, and my other videos. They all tie together. This is a picture of the retrieved treasure chest. Forrest Fenn retrieved the treasure chest. And this picture was posted by Dale Neitzel on the blog, September 24th, 2016. But I want to look at the area here and just kind of show that I've been to this location, and this location is open ground here. You do have some trees where the snow is here, little small trees, but this is open ground. It's not very big, but it is open ground right here. I've stood where this rockman is. This is not a bush. This is not trees. There is nothing there. All these images here can be accounted for, and I have 4K video of all this. But I've been to this location. I've stood where this was at. There's no bushes, no trees in this location. This was rocks. This was a rock formation. And this, whatever this was, it's not there. There's nothing remotely resembling this. I've accounted for a lot. This is a deadfall. Now, what's interesting is you have X trees in the formation of X. X marks the spot. Right there. Now here's a side view of those X trees. And what this is, that's a branch laying on those trees. Now, somebody asked, well, how are you able to see a 10 by 10 box sitting on the ground? This is a picture of the location right there. There's that branch sitting on the tree. So I know the relative sizes of things that was there, and it's all consistent with it being the treasure chest and rock formation. I'm not showing any other images of the location. I'm in the process of producing a video for purchase of the expedition to this location. The locations in the poem, Ice Lake, the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone, Norris Geyser Basin, and to the promontory, which is here. On our expedition, we camped right here on the promontory tip because the boat, the ferry that took us out, cannot go past this location unless there's emergency. So we basically camped here and canoed down to 5L. This is 5L8. We canoed down to 5L9, hiked up to the location. We have 4K video of all this, and like I said, I plan on. I'm in the process of producing a video on it. I don't know, maybe an hour and a half video of the expedition. All right, and that is the video. That is the solution video. So, thank you for watching. Share, subscribe.